Alright, I forgot about changing the damn thing so that it streams at a different frame rate in recording. Let's see. Well, let's go ahead and try coding. Please. God damn it. Alright. Okay. First thing I'm gonna do is clear out all the stuff that involves the signals because those I don't like, and I don't think this is the use for them. And this, uh, this, I don't think we need these either. I don't think we gonna keep the enable boolean. Alright, behavior template. There's no longer this because this is saved. Okay, that's that. This will change. Okay, jump behavior. This is where we're getting the error. This doesn't exist. Alright, at export host already exists for the jump, and we have it enabled. I should eventually do something with enabled. Let's just put an if exclamation mark enabled tab return. Do I need a colon? I didn't add it on mine. Okay. And then we can test in our 2D scene here if it still works. Okay. Cool. 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 Right. Signals. That's where the problem is. We are not using that. We are using something else. And slide. Okay. If jumped, then do I need a signal? Maybe. The other option is I connect this to the host via export. So we no longer have signal. We could connect VN at export, but then that would be circular at export referencing, which I don't think is the worst thing we could do. So I guess we'll just do that. Export and behavior based array. Behavior base type. Behaviors behavior based. Okay. Is that what? Will find I don't know if I like that. How do I want to connect the two? There it goes. Signal. Do I want to do a signal here? Okay, connect to this thing. If function, jump, connect, let's test the thing. It's not jumping because we did not emit the signal. Jump dot emit. And then we wait a minute with a parameter. We need a parameter, which we don't. And then it jumps. Okay. That feels simpler than what it was before. So the other function is that seemed useless. But is this the best way? We don't use this. We don't use the array. We don't check anything, which probably is faster. We know exactly what the jump thing signal is coming from, which is good. Okay. I guess that works. Now, let's add to the player here. Behavior base. Sorry, that is the wrong thing. Add a node to the composition folder. Add a script. That is the behavior template. Create. Ready behavior name is the same process. Continuous or anything. Okay. Cool. We want to add movement. So let's call this movement. We want to be able to move up and down, left and right, and have gravity, which currently is being done in the player script. Let's change that to the movement. Which is part of the character body 2D. So make sure to add export host. Right now it's already done that, so you want to assign the player host dot host dot host dot everything. That's gravity. And that's checking if they're grounded. Cool. Nice. Then after that, if we check they're on the ground or not, we can allow them to move or not. Let's have an enable check. Exclamation mark. Enabled. Return. Add this to everything. And then I want to add to the template just the checks if it's enabled or not. I also want to print if it's enabled or not. template, change it to be here, move the pass, change it up here, the pass to remove, put a jump, change it, make sure it was universally the same. Plus, what needs to happen is probably not an instant thing for the movement script. I don't like that this is named node. This should be named movement. Behavior we're done with, I think. Jump, the check, the jump functionality, which I might put into movement. Because it's a flag function. Okay. But we'll see. I should put this plus convert to a string. Now we fix that elsewhere. Maybe this should be like a quick function, which would just be easier, probably. Stop it. I just want to test the remote and movement thing just to see how that works real quick. Where's the movement script? Change this to that. Let's see the difference when I run it or not. Maybe local, not. Did not change the node name, which is strange. That's what this is supposed to do. I'll leave it one if it's really ready to come back. Close it. Okay, odd. Tracking the jump. Maybe? No, I don't think that would do anything because the movement is the same, essentially. Just the name is useless. Or changing the name is useless. Run it again. Let's see what happens. Oh, it changed. Ooh. Stop. Okay, so that's interesting. It does do the thing I wanted it to do. But I have to still use the thing. Okay, since I'm going to be using this function way too often, I'm going to define it here. Func check. This one enable. That, and we're done to that. Oh wait, that doesn't work because that's not returning again. Oh, that's useless. Never mind. See that movement. Okay, back to movement. Player movement. Player movement matters. It exists. A lot of things have it. That's mainly going to be manipulating the vector with the host velocity. Okay, so the host, or our player in this case, is going to have its movement changed by this node for movement handling. So does it matter if it's instantaneous or not? If it's just going to constantly be called every time, all the time? Not 100% sure. See if the chat decided to do. Nope, that's not it. Okay. Okay, so host velocity. Let's first off get the direction. Well, let's define that the player, or anything, wants to move in a direction. So let's define a variable called direction. Let's short form that to DRI and desired underscore. Or is it this? No, that's worse. No, there, and not correct. Desired direction is going to be what? Great. Just keep it as desired direction. No. Okay. The player, or whatever the thing is, should send the direction to the thing we use. So I'm going to have to rename this to update. Let's remove delta. Do I need delta? Delta. I don't know. Rename this to movement update because I can and desire to do that. We're going to give it the desired direction into this. It will then be called via a signal instead. We will define the signal in the player script. Signal move. And then since that is now defined, we can go to this, connect to movement, and pick a method which can escape movement, desired direction, delta is not defined, comma, delta, I'll just put that in there. Yep, go to the movement script. I may need to define variables, dir, comma, delta. Now, I need to also type them, direction, links, because that's just gonna be what it is. Colon, delta, which delta is just a float. Yep. Then in the input handling, we will put the thing for getting format direction. Let me click on this to connect the signal. Connect the signal. Now movement should function when we want to. Player scripts. Okay. So first off, let's just call move, comma, comma, or no, brackets, 1, comma, 1, or no, delta. Do I really need an input handler if I'm just going to do this stuff? Probably not. Should put this in the physics process, delete this, delete that. Move that. Move is not a function, it is a signal. So dot emit. And then this is the actual part that needs to go into here. Let's get rid of those double extra brackets. Okay. That's using a signal. That's gravity, which is defined in the move function or parameter. Epic. Okay. That's velocity. So let's go to the player. Before that, we want to change this 1 into the direction that the player would want to move. So let's define how the player would want to move. Okay, let's get underscore axes. That is not defined. Okay. Input dot get axes. Yep, there we go. We can go string name for negative, which left is, and comma, right. All right. Yeah. input get axes. That is direction, so let's just define that as a variable here. Direction. And for the fighting game, this is going to be important. Input axes. Should I call this direction, or should I call this input direction? I'm going to call this input direction. For the reason that in fighting games such as Street Fighter, they actually automatically turn you around to the opponent. And that is its own direction. That is not always the same as the input direction. Okay. That is that. Meaning. We're going to move function. Just see, we're not changing the host velocity depending on where we want to go. Movement. Who should have speed? This can have speed as an export variable. Speed. Export at constant. Can I export a constant? Nope. Var speed. Let's go with a float. Guess we want to use that instead. Okay. Cool. Save. Go to the expector. Change this number to, I don't know, 200 for now. Just to try it. Speed. Okay. Now, host velocity. Host velocity equals host velocity plus equals this if it's not on the floor. Okay. That makes sense. Now, host velocity plus equals. Wait, no, that means it accelerates. Equals speed times delta times direction. Okay, do I need delta? Probably, I don't know. Let's see how fast this moves. Nil. Where times where. Movement update. Physics process. Input direction delta. Accelerated operators. Float and nil operator. Okay. I'm assuming it means that the value is not just 0, it's just non-existent, so just have that if desired direction, then do this, try it again. Didn't crash, however it's not moving. Or it might be, but just really, really slowly. Or is movement update not being called? Or am I doing this wrong? Let's try just typing velocity x. Let's multiply by delta if that matters. Try again. See if we move. Uh, okay, let's see if we're even running this function. It says it's running. Then why are you not moving much, like at all? Okay. Now stop at the velocity x. Speed. If enabled, is it enabled? Yes, it is enabled. Nowhere in the functions are we getting into here. No. Okay, so the direction is not being found. Clear script input direction. Or this is supposed to be a direction, so let's just type it to a float. See if that fixes it. Oh wait, we never set the axes, so that's why. Never mind. If I just remove that, go put direction equals this. Now we set it. We do we need this? No, this doesn't exist because it needs to be the host. Or no, just get axes. No, it needs the input dot get axes. That's why the dot was there initially. Okay, let's try again. It's moving. And when I hold the button, and it's running fast enough, so that's good. Cool. I was only pressed one button, so let me actually adjust the other button just in case that. Yep, direction found. Okay, speed is extremely slow. Probably because of the multiply delta, which would be very small. Let's try it again without it. Yep, that is a significantly better. There is no deceleration, which is something we probably want. Or just stop the movement, which I think for a fighting game would be fine. At least for the first bit. Yep, so then else else colon host dot velocity x shouldn't be tabbed equals 0. So now if we test, which might not be seen on the screen, it'll just stop right after I stop pressing. So that's fine. Oh, maybe I should change. I did change the thing a little bit. But still, no one exists in chat. It's just me. Come on. Again. Just copy, copy the text. Perfect. Anyways, so we have defined vertical movement, and we have defined horizontal movement. I didn't like that. Oh yeah, vector 2D from gravity. That makes sense. Well, this is a number down here. Okay, direction found. Don't need that. We know this works. Perfect. So we check if the movement needs to exist. We allow this. This might be useful if I want to disable movement for a cutscene. You know, might be cool. The jump behavior could probably also be just thrown into that thing. So, because it's technically a movement option, uh, you know what? I'll keep it separate for now. We've done that for now. Okay, let's move on to something a little bit more complicated instead of just a node or like functionality for the player. Let's try a hurt box or a health hitbox. We want a hitbox. Probably the hitbox because we can just attach this player's hurt box by using the same collision shape. Unless that should be its own component. Character body. Hmm. The character body has more stuff, probably. Now let's take a look at this thing. Uh, hmm. Okay, this actually makes more sense. Cool. And let's compare this to. Does this actually have open documentation? Color deeply, color disabled, one-way collision, one-way immersion check. I don't know if I feel like this is the thing to use. Okay, let's just make a note. Add a new area 2D. Let's make the hitbox when we're attacking. So I'm going to call this hitbox. Going to add a collision shape. I should turn these into their own scenes, I think. Is that what that is supposed to be? Yeah, like scenes or something. Yeah, information, new folder, call it modulo, or mods, or components, composition components. Okay. Change the color to be, that's expanding for, change the color to be yellow. Why not? Right. Then we can state child scene. As script, reparent, duplicate, save, branch as scene, jump to components, save, there, there's our jump scene. Then we can add to the other one, where is it? Save as branch scene. Movement scene. Cool. Here's those movement scripts. Whatnot. Movement. Is this enough movement? I think that's fine. Let me check the jump scene. Is it velocity Y? Let's change this to velocity 2D. Jump velocity. Actually, no, check that. That's already. Yeah. Just extend the jump. If I wanted to make a wall jump, I would just extend the jump, change the type of thing that's happening from a host up. Just change this function entirely from this to this, but like wall jump. So it would be vector 2D with an angle. And I would just define the two numbers for the wall jump. However, I feel like it. Okay. Hitbox. Let's go to the hitbox. Add a script. Add a script. Add a behavior template. Hitbox. Okay. Hitbox. Instantaneous thing, or is it a non-instantaneous thing? I don't know. At ready. For this one, scripts. Right. Okay. For the hitbox, the collision layer, please, the property, I hate you. Okay. Collision object 2D layer. So let's go to collision object 2D. Damn it. Oh, okay. Let's type in layer then. No. Okay. Let me pull this property in here. Collision layer. Epic. That's not how I wanted it. Let me try in a different function. Extends behavior base. So it's assuming it's a node. Never mind. That is a different thing. Um, what's my behavior base class even do? That. Cool. Epic. Can I comma not allowed extend new line? I hate you. Why? Okay. Cool. That's just weird. Behavior base shift at export still. No. I'm gonna get an error from this behavior base. At least I assume. If I just delete this, run this, even without the thing. 1, 2, 3, no. Where is that? Alright. This didn't crash. Why? Alright, I'll just add export ourselves. Area. Cool. Assign ourselves the area 2D, which is I don't like that it's like that. I really don't like that it is like that. Common parent is true. Let me just click this to test that error. Hold up, what happened? Let me disable this, which I don't need this false. Okay. This is a string interpretation of name, which was actually the wrong thing to use. Perfect, just. And plus string space. Do I want that in everything? Should it just be like on ready? This is enabled, on ready, this is disabled. I think just the on ready would be good enough. Control S, behavior base, enter, print. Here, let's remove it. Print is on here. Let me see. Jump here. Base. String. Okay. Do they all print? Nope. Okay. Why are you not allowing me to do anything? Player script. Let's see. Input direction is fine. Did I set all of velocity to 0? Now I set velocity x to 0. That should only affect the velocity x, not the velocity of the host. Let me try moving. Moving is not working. Okay. Let me cut this out and test again. No, that is not the thing that's broken. Signals. parameter code and parent is not control X. Control V. Okay, let's just remove that. Okay, why are we not moving? Okay, let's go through our player logic. So we need to move every frame essentially. So we decide to move either by checking if we want to jump, then we check. Did I make my jump check on floor? No, that just makes sense. The movement update is called via signal. Then, if it's enabled, all is good. Move. If it's disabled, all is not good. This is enabled, but it doesn't have a host, which is the player. I need to place a thing that just tells me, hey, there is no host, which should be in the behavior base. So error string if first off that, then host if there is no host, error string I think we need to print. I'm sorry. We'll still looking for error stuff. Methods variance. A lot of function event. There's a lot of functions. You know what? Let's just check again via typing in the word error. Push error, which has a void. This variable argument pushes an error into debug in the OS. So this does not pause the project execute to print an error message and pause the project execute and debug builds this assert false. I'm gonna use push error. So script host is not defined for, and then we'll put in name. Then this would be easier if I just called the parent one the child the entire time. Super dot ready. Then we change dot ready. If it's here, the name is defined and then all the other things are printed. God damn it, why is it like this? Ugh. Renames itself. Do I even want an underscore ready for this thing at all? Kind of. Okay, in the template, which is going to be the essentially one that actually runs. On the ready, prince name, prince self. It changes the name. It prints the name. We want to add a line where it prints the error, which was defined here. I'll do that for now. Okay. Okay. If we call the super class, which is what super does, for this, and we call ready, which this would be for this would be the one that is called, because all the other ones extend the behavior-based class. Okay. It's just the thing I had to be done for the presentation. Okay. So I want this. I want the name to be renamed, even though we don't really use the name too much. So then this in the base template we'll call the parent after renaming. So tab super dot ready. Is that all? We rename it. We call super dot ready. Alright, I guess that works. Let's see. Put that into the behaviors in the second line. Super dot ready. Does this make the most sense to be done like this? Kind of, because now I don't have to print out the calls already every time again. Hitbox, script, this one also does that. Tab. Okay. Now, if we do this, we run it, we see that's enabled, this is not enabled. The push error is not running. Why? I wasn't pressing any buttons, so I didn't actually check if it moves yet. It is not. Okay. Debugger is not defined for jump, is not defined for hitbox. Are you serious? Stop that. Stop that. Jump. Assign player. Okay. Movement as player. Alright. Jumps should work. Please. Go back to partially working. Jumps are not working. Right. Jump. Comment parent is true. I am going to delete you. Try this again. Sorry. Error common parent is true. Oh, we're jumping. No, we're not jumping. Okay. Player signals. Jump. Yep. Yep. Check the signals. The signals are corrected. Common parent is null. What do you mean common parent is null? What happened? Parameter is null. What is this error? Colon int is equals 0. Scene main node dot that. What do you mean? What is this? What does this mean? Okay. Behavior based. Delete that and just try. Wait, no, why would it be working then? How would this be working? Behavior based. Name hasn't been set. Okay. Uh, I don't like that. I really don't like that. Oh, that's evil. Let's check if the name is null, actually. That would make sense. That's why that error is there. So, if name is null, if name then name equals change name. Okay, this is just try the same thing. Okay, change name. That's if name is real. That is if name is not real. Okay, that fixed that problem. Debugger. This was originally a float. Load. This is never using processing. Jump. Signal. Jump document. Jump. Okay. What is the problem now? That is stopping, falling, and jumping. Signals. They are connected. Common parent is null. What is this parent? That is null. Does this thing just not have a parent? Is that why? It's the script. Doesn't make sense. Hit but that should not be hit over there. Figure out what this error is and fix it. Also, a 2 hitbox script, which is a bit of a problem. This one is the bad one. I don't know why this is happening. I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to add a node, name it, folder. I'm going to add to this, jump. I should instantiate, jump, instantiate, movement, connect the signals, go to jump, go pick, jump, okay, movement, right now, I'm gonna pick, jump, folder. This should be here, pick this, yep, connect, okay. Those should be fine now. S, save, run the scene, please work this time. Is on floor is null value. What? That didn't happen before. Because I didn't assign them this time. Epic. Inspector. Stop. Stop. Cool. Node. Layer. Layer. Okay. Let's run. There we go. What was that error? That made no sense. Okay. It's working now. I guess that's an error that just exists for things not working or non-existing, and they really should have existed. I don't know why it's like that. How long have I been streaming? Okay, an hour. Day's pretty much done. Still completely by myself. Makes sense. It's been a good day. I'm gonna end it, and this time remember to actually change the stream output. Bye. But hey, we did some composition this time. That made more sense.